Leo, how you doing? Welcome to your Astroflower reading. This is going to be a reading of the energy blueprint reading. So we're going to be going into your chakras and your auras, your chakras and your aura for this coming week, going from I think it's the 30th through to the 6th. Don't quote me on that, but the 30th through to the 6th. Let's just see what's going on there. Straight away, let's have a look in there and see what's going on. And we're going into your root chakra here. So nicely defined on both sides. The left hand side, this side here, is a lot more defined, and this is what we've been finding in everybody's reading, to be honest. And your right hand side is also sort of well defined. This is the difference to everybody else's reading. Is this is where it's starting to get like within your relationships and stuff like that. We were talking about in the monthly readings, talking about you walking proud and walking tall, basically walking tall and being proud, basically. And that seems to play it off in this week. There was a certain degree of that as well within you. It's almost as if like you understand who you are or where you are or what you're worth. And it's like sort of putting it out there to sort of say, yeah, here I am. Come and get it. But you better hurry because it's going fast. Sort of scenario. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of confidence that could be built into that. But obviously the confidence we find that in the solar plexus more than anything else. Let's just go through your sacrum as well. Let's see what's going on there. So that's quite nicely balanced. Slightly more on the left-hand side than the right-hand side. So it's gradually coming back into equilibrium on both sides at the moment. I think this is also ties into the fact that you're coming into your summer months. Yes, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you wouldn't believe it. But yes, as a vibrational sort of cycle, according to when you're born, this is moving into your summer months. So this is when things should really be rocking for you as well. And this provides that confidence that we can see in this, in the root chakra and the sacrum. There is this degree of balance, as if to sort of say, yes, I'm here. There is a bit of flexibility within me, but this is who I am, and this is what I'm good at, sort of thing. Let's just go and see what's going on in your solar plexus. Your solar plexus, so you're opening up to your passions and your heart's desires, basically. You're seeing the prize in front of you. And when you do this, when you see the prize in front of you, when you get your passions involved in your heart, because that's what's happening here, there's a certain fusion of your solar plexus into your heart chakra. And then obviously that is, in a certain extent, leading your fiery passions through your very emotional heart. Now, obviously that can have complications in that, but it doesn't seem that way, and it's the same truth for everybody. And this is why I think funny February, which I'm calling it, funny February is going to be a funny old month where things are going to be turned on their head during this month. Not in a violent way, but in a very nice way, in a way of kind of going, all right, okay, so it's not like that, it's like this. And it's a sort of learning curve for everybody in this month of February. And within your solar plexus, that's where you're getting a lot of fusion with the heart. So we're going to have to see the heart to see what condition that's in order to this is where I think we find the confidence in you. You know your worth, and there's a slight pinching on the outside of your heart chakra. So then you could be, in a way, maybe giving over a little bit too much to, social obligations where you don't necessarily want to go, and which, it's it plays out a little bit there in your sacrum as well. As your sacrum there's a slightly less amount in your right hand side than in your left hand side, and in your heart chakra there's a pinching. It's very slight, but there's a slight divot on the outside, so it does this sort of like figure of eight as it's been split into two, like we saw in the January collective reading. And your inner heart, which is all about your inner emotions and stuff like that, things that you've led or you've lived, and that come to the surface or come up through you. And I think that's the thing that's driving them to the surface, or is that passion, is that solar plexus. So this confidence that you do have within you at the moment is really beautiful. It comes from a very beautiful place. It comes from a place of passion about what you do. So you know what you do, you know your worth, and you kind of, you're good at it, sort of thing. And no one's going to knock you off that sort of perch, as it were. And that emotions that's bringing you up to the surface of sort of past emotions of when things might have gone a little bit wrong, or it was emotionally straining during a certain period, that may come to the surface. You may meet up with people who are connected to that as well, because it's going to help you to examine those inner emotions that are within you, because this is a process during February that we do need to destock things, get rid of things. It's the unladening of the 10 of Wands. So then, therefore, you're not in a position where we're going into March, and you're not carrying too much. That's really important. And with that releasing of that emotions, and these could be long-term emotions that have been with you for some time. Could be something that happened, the shortest is sort of like a year or year and a half or something like that. But the longest, you could be looking at sort of 20, 30 years. It depends on what we've lived in life or what we're living. But it's not, I don't think it's nasty. It could be, it could be sort of like a separation when you were a youngster. Of one of those sort of loves as we grow up as being a teenager, that sort of thing. And making sure that you don't lose your love at the moment, that could well be it. It's also could be the way the solar plexus plays through and drives that passion through that heart. It might evoke hard emotional sort of situations with you, which may trigger things from the past as well. It depends on what each one's being living, but whatever the emotions that you are sort of dealing with at the moment, and anything that's come up through you from the past, I think it's a good idea to look at them honestly by yourself in a way. So take time out in order to have a rummage through those emotions, allow them to air around you so you can examine them without being too emotionally triggered. And that's going to help you sort of evacuate that excess amount of emotions within your heart, basically. And it'd be a good thing because it's going to lighten you up, getting you ready for that change, which is coming in the beginning of March. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the following week. The the 6th going through to the 13th. It's going to be interesting to see how that sort of plays out as well, because that's a crucial week, I think, in February. Let's just see what's going on the we were on the third eye and the throat chakra, so let's just see there. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's that's in real harmony as well. I think this confidence is giving you that sensation of being in the place you're supposed to be in at the time that you're supposed to be there. It's like that Gandalf sort of thing. And Bilbo Baggins says, I don't know if it's Bilbo Baggins or the other one. I forgot what his name is, but he sort of says, "You're late," and he says, "A wizard is never late. he arrives exactly at the moment he's supposed to arrive. And it's that sort of confidence that you have within you. You're living life and you're living in this harmonious state which feeds into everything that you do. And it runs completely throughout your entire energy system. It's really nice. You're stepping into as well your summer period. So there's accomplishments of things in your life, of certain goals that over the past year that should be sort of really coming to fruition at the moment. It should be a very successful time for you, for certainly for longer term plans and stuff like that. But at the moment, the communication is there, but also the clear thinking. It is a very stationary, natural position where the third eye, which is this, is slightly sitting in front of the throat chakra, which is really good. It's really quite nice. You know, if you're Leos, hey, you're nailing it. Okay, let's see what's going on the crown. Okay, this is the one that's really that's out of sync with everything else. So I don't think it's like the thinking. It's basically it's your consciousness and how your consciousness is connecting to everything around you. I think it is connecting wide, and it's sensing. You're getting to sort of sense or understand your place in the world that is around you, and as you do that, you're connecting to a lot of things, and this is connect. It's almost like a Kundalini moment. It's almost like a real revelation to you, a real sort of deep understanding that's been spiritual awakening in a way. Let's just have a look at your consciousness that's in there. Let's bring your consciousness out. Let's see what that level it is at. I think it's understanding the appreciation and love between one thing and another, and how it all sort of fits together. Because there's several degrees, a little bit like the Hierophant. There's several degrees of consciousness, and it doesn't make you a better person and stuff like that. That's not how it works. It's just understanding. If you've understood and you've done the work, then it's going to be easier to sort of expand your consciousness to places where people haven't understood yet. It's like asking a child, about sort of algebra. That's just learning 1 + 1 = 2. You're asking maybe a little bit too much because they haven't gone through that process. Doesn't mean that you're better than them. It's just that you've gone through that process, or I've gone through that process of learning. So, it's like when you're talking to a child, it's understanding that going down to their level rather than picking them up to your level is a really good way of interacting with other people. And I think you might be learning this, and with the confidence that you're carrying with you, that carries an enormous amount of weight with the people that is around you, and a lot of respect, I think, and it seems like that's what it's going to be commanding for you. It's absolutely spot on. Like it very much indeed. Let's just have a look what's going on the aura. Okay, this is a process that I think is just starting, and I've noticed this, and this seems to have been coincided with the fusion of the solar plexus with the heart. Now I'm going to do a video on this because I need to investigate it, and I will be investigating it in the next day or so. I'm doing a video on it. I'll investigate it through my meditations and through visions and stuff like that. But it appears to be that the pole shift, or the changing energies that we're living in at this present time, is actually shifting. We're doing a pole flip as well, and that's what the merging of our solar plexus and our heart is all about. It's just a point of reference of the energies. The energies are changing, but doesn't necessarily mean the solar plexus is going to be in the heart and the heart's going to be. It's just that the energy that was within the solar plexus is now centering into the heart, and the heart energy is centering into the solar plexus. It will change things for a while, but eventually, or I would have thought pretty quickly afterwards, it's almost as if like it just kind of goes pop and takes the shape of the solar plexus. It happens. Just because we go through a pole shift doesn't necessarily mean that the world's going to start spinning in the other direction or it's going to flip over. It depends on a lot of things, that a lot more logarithms, which we're going into sort of 48 or 48 or 60 72,000 year cycles. But here is, I think it's sort of flipping here, and what we can see in the aura is like a new layer that's almost coming around through the middle of your aura, which is creating a lip on the outside. And it's almost as if to say we're changing the magnetic field and your magnetic field is changing with it. And this will change your attitude. And I think this is what March is all about. I think that's what March is, that changing, that catalytic moment that we've already in the new paradigm, and now we're getting dressed to go out into the paradigm. So we've already woken up in the new paradigm and we've had our breakfast, and now it's time to get dressed and get out there. And this is the process of getting dressed in a way. That's what it appears to be like. So it may produce, and we got Pluto as well coming out of Capricorn going into Aquarius in March as well. And this may produce a lot of things that come out of left field, ideas that just sort of, because you've got a new energy configuration, it's going to provide new ideas, new solutions for old problems, basically. So there you go, Leo. There is part 2 to this reading, which is your tarot reading, which will be coming straight up afterwards. So make sure you're subscribed and click that bell so then you get the notifications for all these videos. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.